Hi again. Today I wanted to talk about where I am in the process of going back to school, which is kind of what this channel is about, obviously. And where I am right now, after jumping through what feels like 9 million hoops, is deciding on a school. So, as I said before, I am basically starting from scratch since I came from an LVN background, and my LVN background was through a hospital-based program. So I do have some college credit that I'm looking to transfer, but my LVN experience came from a hospital setting. So the things like anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, microbiology, all that nursing core classes, or all those nursing core classes that I took, I actually took through the hospital program. So I don't actually have college credit that I'm able to transfer. So I'm not able to get credit except in one case, which I'll get to in a second. Sort of. Anyway, I'm at the point now where my hair's sort of a hot mess, where I've got it narrowed down to 3 options, and it's really time to make a decision. Although I'm kind of not really at the point that it's completely up to me. I'm still waiting to get every little tick mark checked off, all the boxes, all the things you have to do. Because, I mean, truth be told, I've been out of school for a hot minute. And back with the first time I enrolled in college, my high school, I feel like, took care of everything. They sent transcripts. I filled out a paper application. When it came time to enroll in my community college, I went up to the registrar's office, stood in line, and then when it came time to register for classes, you stood in line outside of, I think it was the gym or something, and then the doors opened and you kind of made a mad dash for the sections. Like there was an English section, there was a history section, the sciences and everything. And you got in that line for that class and you signed your name for that time slot. So you had a book, a catalog, and you picked out what you wanted and you knew, okay, I want to do English 1301. So, hey, there's the English 1301 line, and you stood in line. So, times they have changed. So, trying to, I have copies of my transcripts, but colleges don't accept the ones that I personally have. So, trying to track down transcripts from 20 million years ago, and this school does it electronically. This school doesn't. I don't live in that state anymore. You can come by the office and pick it up. Okay, well, you're 6 hours away. I can't really do that. So it's all been a mess. So I took the scenic route to get to the point that while I'm still in the process, I have applied to 2 of the 3. I have talked to an advisor at the 3rd. I'm confident that I would have no trouble getting into the 3rd. And I'm just kind of awaiting all the official stuff. But I really don't have a lot of doubts about getting into the school as a freshman and getting credits transferred. So it's just making the decision of which school do I start and which avenue do I want to go down in the nursing, in my nursing career path. So I'm going to lay it out, and hopefully if any of you have been down this road, experienced similar things, have attended similar type of programs, made similar decisions, if you can chime in, that would be incredible. I've joined All Nurses and I've asked these same questions on there, and I've gotten, literally every other answer is a different one. So I'm stuck, and my every day I wake up, my mind is in a different place. So, okay, option 1 is a local community college, which would be about a 20-minute drive. I can do. I would have about, let's see, I actually have it written down. 1, 2, 3. I would only have to do, I have 4 prereq classes and 1 I already have out of the way. 1 I would have to placement test for because it's a math class, and because I didn't take the ACT, I think that's what it's called. I don't even know because they didn't even do that when I was in school. And my SAT is far too old. So I would have to take a placement test to see if I qualify for college algebra, which I am not optimistic about because my math skills, let's just say I am not smarter than a 5th grader, because I wasn't good at it back in the day, and I certainly have not kept up those skills. And my 11-year-old comes home with math homework, and I say, go talk to your dad. So my math skills, for lack of a better word, suck. So if I can't qualify for college algebra, I have to take a remedial class, which I think I did once years ago, but no, I would need again. But anyway, it's still basically like a semester before I could apply then to their nursing program, which is an associate's program, which is all fine and well. It's got a great reputation. You get your associate's degree in 2 years, 2 years of the core nursing classes, and then you can bridge to an RN. This particular program also has, I forget what they call it, but it's like linked programs with 2 major 4-year universities here where I live. So if you are accepted into that, then basically while you're completing your associates, you can also complete your BSN, which would be awesome. But it's kind of like going to school twice. So I don't feel totally incompetent about doing that. I mean, I've already gone to nursing school once. I know these classes are different and it would be harder, and I didn't have kids at the time. But, you know, I don't feel totally incompetent in retaining some of my nursing knowledge. So that's an option. The community college is obviously the cheaper option. I do know that this particular community college is very competitive. So that, I mean, that's par for the course for nursing programs. The downside is that right about the time I get done, because, and I think this is true of pretty much every state, hospitals are all trying to either gain or maintain their magnet status. So they are requiring, I believe it's 80%, if not more, of their RNs to be BSNs. So right about the time I get my RN, they're going to say, you got to have your BSN. So I may or may not be able to get it in this program. I know that eventually I would bridge, but basically, if I pursue the community college route, ultimately I know I'm coming out with an associate's degree. I'm still getting my RN, but ultimately my goal is to go back to work in the hospital. That's where my experience is. That's what I want to do. So I have to be prepared for that. So ultimately, I'd like to have my BSN. But the community college route is the cheapest route. It is the fastest route, but it also is competitive, and it obviously has its downside. So the second option is the 4-year university here locally, which also has a very reputable 4-year nursing program. Obviously, that would be the BSN. Now, I could do my prereqs at the community college and then transfer, but I also know that in this nursing program, they do give priority to undergrads who did their undergrad work at the college, at the university. So it would be in my best interest to start there and finish there. Again, very competitive. Both programs have entrances fall and spring, so that's kind of a wash. Prereqs for the BSN program there are 67 hours, of which I have 2 to 3 classes I can knock out. That's about it. So, I have a couple of years at least of knocking out prereqs. Also would have to do placement testing. same kind of thing. However, it's the most expensive option of all of the three that I'm going to lay out. It's, again, also very competitive. It's maybe a little bit closer, but with both programs, I'm looking at doing as much as I can of the undergraduate coursework online, just because I have kids. They're not used to me being gone. I want to kind of dip my toe back into things a little slowly. Probably my freshman year, try to do as much as I can online. Obviously, you have to show up. I know for A&P, you have to show up for some labs, and I'm sure with micro and chemistry, it's the same way. But there are times that you have to show up to campus. But some of the classes, like English and things like that, you do 100% online, never have to step foot in class. So for my schedule and having to pick kids up from school, that works. So again, that's the most expensive option, but it gets me to my end goal. You graduate with BSN, one shot, one school, done. The final option is a for-profit college, which I hear very mixed opinions about. I actually went and visited this particular school that I'm not going to mention its name, but I went to visit this particular school. It's the closest to my house. But actually that's not true, because they have a couple of campuses around, and the one that I would need to go to for the nursing program is on the other side of town. So it's still, 20 minutes or so. Nothing is terribly far. Nothing involves an hour commute or relocation or anything. It's the middle of the road. Technically, it would be the most expensive, and in the end, with some of the things I hear, it might be. But based on the information I'm being given, it's the middle of the road expense, because of my husband's military status. He's a military veteran. Military veteran families get a discount. We would qualify for that. Theoretically, they're supposed to give me the final confirmation, but they've told me they're 99% certain, but I don't take anything until it's in writing. But the thing about that one is I would also graduate with a bachelor's degree. It is fully accredited, both state or regionally, and with the state. My credits would transfer if I got a year into the program and decided this is not for me. I'm not taking this as the gospel from them. I've done my research myself. My credits would transfer into one of the other two programs. If, let's say, I had taken English and A&P and decided this is not where I want to be, I could transfer those credits into one of the other programs, and the credits would transfer fine. And in the end, again, I would get my BSN. They would give me some credit for having an LVN or LPN, even though I made sure to tell them, I laid it out as clearly as I could. My license isn't active. I haven't worked in over 10 years. It's in good standing. I have no marks against me or anything, but it is not an active, and it's not from this state. They double checked, said that it didn't matter. I'm really only getting, aside from my college classes, I'm getting an additional 9 hours, which means I wouldn't have to take things like ethics, the ethics of nursing, intro to nursing, just the very basic, what the career of nursing is, what it means, how it started, that kind of stuff. All of the skills stuff, obviously, I'm not going to get out of. Even some of the courses that I took, like I said, med-surg, micro, all that stuff, I still have to repeat all of that. And it's about the same number of hours, obviously, as the 4-year college. Some of the pros and cons, again, it's middle of the road for price range, but, I've heard people say that it's not the best education. I looked at their NCLEX pass rates. They're not the greatest. And I know this is going to sound insulting, and I don't mean it to be that way, but I have to wonder if it's one of those programs where as long as you come up with the money, you get in. So are people getting in that wouldn't get into other programs? And is that why the pass rate maybe is not as high, because it's not, they're not necessarily taking the best of the best? I mean, I don't know. I know that sounds terrible. And the other positive thing about that program is that they earmark, they only admit to their program once a year, and it's, I believe she said 24 spots. So it's the smallest class of all. But they earmark 5 spots for their bridge students, which I would be considered a bridge student. So basically, without saying it, and I know that a fair amount of what they tell me is a sales pitch, and I know that, but without coming right out and saying it, she basically told me that I would have absolutely no trouble getting in on my first attempt, as long as I could keep my grades up on the prereqs. You still have to even with all programs, you have to take the T's. You still have to take it even with this for-profit school. But as long as I could keep my grades up, make whatever their baseline is for the T's, and they didn't have some record number of applicants, that I would have no trouble getting in. So that's where I am, trying to make the decision. One day I think I'll just go to the for-profit school, because time is not on my side. I am not a young woman. I need to get it done. And in the end, when I pass the boards and I have, BSN after my name, does the school I went to necessarily matter? I went to a non-college hospital program, and I had job offers and had no trouble getting a job when I left the hospital, which is something I didn't mention in my LVN experience video. But when I left my job at the hospital, I moved on and worked in a couple of other places outside of the hospital setting. I had no problem getting jobs without a college education, because they were looking at my license. My license was good. Where I got my license was kind of irrelevant. It was a reputable program that was certified. It had all the credentials and everything. That's what mattered. So as long as you've got that, then ultimately it's your license and your skills and how confident you are, what you're capable of, how you sell yourself, how you are as a nurse is going to be what matters. Sorry for this crazy light. There is no natural light in my house, I swear. Anywhere. It's not even a cloudy day. It's just a dark house. And then the next day I'll wake up and say, just go to the junior college. Go to the junior college, because you can bridge online, save some money. And then I get real excited about the 4-year college, and you go, God, what a feather in my cap that would be. Oh, I sounded old there, didn't I? What a feather in my cap it would be if I could, get into this university and finish this 4-year college and do it all in one fell swoop. And so so I am looking for any advice, experience. If you've been down this road, if you've had experience going through any of these types of programs, or know somebody, if you've heard anything about some of these for-profit, if you've done the associate to RN bridge, if you are older and just went for it and did the straight BSN program, please comment and let me know. Help me make a decision, because it's getting to that time. It's time to register for classes. As soon as I get these letters in the mail, I check the mail every day. But I need input, and I really don't have anybody around here to talk to about it. So my resources are online, YouTube, and hopefully finding somebody that's been through this. So any help would be appreciated. So I will keep you updated on what the next step is, but in the meantime, I'm waiting to see what your responses are. So anyway, if you haven't, I hope you'll subscribe and stick around and see what I pose to you next. So anyway, thanks everybody. Hope you have a good day.